because the Brazil card, I was just looking that up because I'm commentating that in a few weeks. That's lost its bloody main event. Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev was supposed to go down, and there's a bit of drama unfolding right now. So Fiziev is out, he's injured. Charles Oliveira's off the card. When you look at Wikipedia, he's got on there. Apparently, Benoit Saint-Denis said that he would have the fight, but then apparently didn't want to take it because there wasn't enough time, which I totally get. I totally understand that. Benoit Saint-Denis had a tremendous performance. He's got 2 wins in a row. He doesn't really want to fly down to Brazil on 2 weeks' notice. So then Oliveira comes out of the woodwork, talking shit, saying, listen, you guys, coming out, saying, I'll fight him. But then when the UFC make you an offer, you know where to be seen, or your pinky toe hurts, or whatever the case was, right?
Yeah.
Mateusz Gamrot has come out. Have you seen his tweets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He says he is not injured, and he is saying yes to that fight. And he's like, I guess my style isn't what you want to face. You got to be careful. If you're Charles and you're talking all that shit about nobody wants to fight, and there's clearly a guy out there who's in the ranking that's saying he wants to fight, it's not a good look.
I mean, I understand why Charles was pissed off. You do all that work. You're getting ready for a fight. It's your comeback. You just got knocked out against Topuria. You want to eradicate that loss from the minds of the fans. It's in Rio de Janeiro. It's your home country. You're Charles Oliveira. You're a former champion. You're getting towards the end of your career. Rafael Fiziev, let's do it. Let's go. He gets injured. Then all of a sudden you've got no fight. I understand being pissed off at that. But the fact now that Mateusz Gamrot is like, hey, bro, I'll come down to your backyard and fight you. Let's do it. I'm not saying that Charles needs to kind of step up. What does that say?
Where's my opponent? Challenge accepted. Holding a rubber chicken.
Oh, I mean, it's actually a good matchup for both men, right?
Yeah,
for Charles,
that's what's crazy about it.
I don't think Charles is necessarily saying no. Have we seen Charles say no yet?
No, I mean, no. I again, and was it the other thing is too? We don't know, and the fans don't know what's going on behind closed doors with the matchmakers. Maybe they don't want that fight. You know what I mean? Maybe Gamrot saying yes, I'll take the fight all day, but they're not even offering it to Charles. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case. It's a fight I would like to see. I agree with you, Michael. You want to talk about a grappling delight? That fight would be. It would be insane.
So Mike Bone from MMA Junkie, he was texting me yesterday trying to get me on his podcast. And I said to him, I can't because this month, tomorrow I leave to London. Week after I'm in Vegas all week. Then I go to Rio de Janeiro for a week. And then I'll be in Abu Dhabi for a week. And he responded with, 4 continents in a month is a stretch. He's right. We're not complaining. I'm very blessed. But anyway, because I mentioned Brazil, he said, hopefully they get a good replacement. So we had a little back and forth about that. And he said he should get it, but he was supposed to fight Nazim Sadikov at the Apex Net main event November 8th. And I don't know if they want to pull him because it's another main event scramble. Now, I don't know anything about that. That's Mike Bone, MMA Junkie. Not throwing him under a bus, but man's got his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, knows what's up.
So I have a quote from Oliveira himself in an interview he did with Loretta Vienna. Oliveira said he didn't want to fight Gamrot because he spent his entire camp preparing for a striker, not a wrestler. Here's the quote: completely different from the style I've been preparing for. It's a good style for me because of the wrestling grappling part, but it's a completely different style from what I prepared for over a month, 2 months,
When was that interview, Harrington?
Let me see. It was posted on YouTube a day ago.
Okay. Wow. So like yesterday.
So he has declined.
Sounds like it. Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's kind of surprising.
And here's why, again, as a former fighter, I get it. It's heartbreaking when these things happen and you've prepared and you do specific things in camp for certain styles, but it's almost the grappling is going to come to you, and now you can focus on your striking. And if it hits the mat, you were probably already preparing to do that anyway against a potentially weaker grappler in Fiziev and a better striker in Fiziev. But if you were already planning on getting this fight to the mat, now it's going to take place there and it's going to be gifted to you. Even if you don't want to work for it, you let Gamrot do it. He'll take you there. He wants to challenge you there. So I love Charles, but I do think that's kind of a weak excuse on why you don't want to take the fight. Just say you don't want to fight somebody. You know what I mean? I guess he is kind of saying it straight up.
Yeah. I mean, I will never sit here and criticize Charles Oliveira. Career that he's had, the way that he fights. I mean, pure excitement, right? We all know. That is, I do find myself scratching my head a little bit at that, though. If I'm honest, I'm trying to be polite and respectful. I'm calling the fight. I'm headed down to Rio. Last thing I want is a bunch of Brazilians coming after me. Going, you're not in your studio now, huh? Porra, right? That's not what I want. I want to make it out of Brazil alive. So I will choose my words carefully. But Jesus Christ, Charles, just take the fight. Let's go. Because I want Charles Oliveira on that card.
Yeah. I think anybody wants Charles on that card. And he specifically wanted to be fighting back in Brazil, right? That was the whole reason on the quick turnaround. We were all giving him kind of, I don't want to say shit, but, we're giving him a little bit of grief for turning around so fast after a pretty devastating knockout against Topuria. And it looks like he's going to have time to rest after all.
So the thing is, and Charles is 35. And when you get to a certain level, we are who we are as fighters. I understand this point, and fighters in general, when they say, I've been preparing for a certain style, I have a strategy, I have a game plan. But the skills that we all amass, by the time we get to 35 years old, we're kind of who we are. You know what I'm saying? At this point, we are the fighter. I'm not saying we can't still improve. We can't still formulate a game plan, and you can't still brush up on your takedown defense or your ability to get back to the feet or get your triangles super sharp, whatever it is, right? Okay. But ultimately, you've got to be who you're going to be, right? You got to fight the way you fight. That's why I took the fight against Rockhold on 2 weeks' notice. And that's what Perillo said to me when I started having doubts. He's like, bro, you've been training your whole life. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about the 2 weeks. You still run, you still work out, you'll be fine. So I do find myself scratching my head. However, there is another name that has been thrown into the hat. Number one in the notes. Good job, Harrington, although I did send it to him. There's a little link you can click on there, Brian. It might give us a little audio visual. It says, Charles Oliveira is getting frustrated at not being able to find an opponent. Diego Lopes says that he will accept a short notice fight, upper weight class, if it means that he can fight a legend. Just when Diego Lopes can't get any better. I love this guy. Tell me you don't want to see Diego Lopes versus Charles Oliveira, because number one for him is like, it's a freebie. Yeah. It's upper weight class.
Upper weight, doesn't matter. Still keeps his ranking right there at 145. And he's younger. He's just insane, and he's so good on the ground. Like, if it becomes a battle anywhere, really, I mean, he just fought John Silva, who is kind of potentially a younger, scarier version of what Charles brings to the table, and kind of like him in some ways with how dangerous he can be on the feet, how good he can be with submissions, and he just beat him. I'd rather that fight than Gamrot.
No, so would I. No offense to Gamrot. Take my money. Diego Lopes, after what he does in every single one of his fights, to knock out Jean Silva in the way that he did. And then 3 weeks later, say, I'm stepping up a weight class and taking on Charles Oliveira in Rio. I mean, come on, that's legendary shit right there.
I tried to take a short notice commentary job down in Brazil with you. I pitched my pitch when we were in Paris, and I got shut down. They're keeping it a 2-man booth, just the two of you guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Who is it? Me and who? Brendan? Yeah, probably. Me and Brendan. That's it. Geez, I better do my research for that one.